Hello and welcome to Eurostat's webinar series. I'm Dean Vuletic, an Information and Communication Officer in Eurostat, and I'm your moderator for today's webinar. Today, we're talking about navigating European statistics with Eurostat. How can you find relevant information on Europe and make sense of all the data out there? Well, our experts are going to give you the answers. In two presentations, they'll show you how to easily explore European statistics on Eurostat's website and social media channels. You'll learn more about the wide range of our educational materials and multimedia resources, which will enable you to enhance your statistical knowledge and help your learning process about data and European statistics. You'll also be able to directly ask our experts questions after their presentations. Please send the questions to us via slido.com. The Slido code is hashtag 2812300. That's hashtag 2812300. You can see the link here on the screen and on the Eurostat stream page. On Slido, you'll also find a short survey to give us feedback on this webinar. And remember, this webinar is being recorded, so you'll be able to access it later on the Eurostat website. And now to our experts. We'll start with Romina Brondino, an Information and Communication Officer specializing in dissemination products, and Anna Maqueda Lafuente, an Information and Communication Assistant who is our expert for web content assistance. They'll take you through resources for non-expert users with hands-on demonstrations to navigate statistics. Romina and Anna, it's over to you.
Thank you, Dean. Welcome everyone also from our side. In this part of the webinar, myself and Anna will show you some of the tools we developed at Eurostat to help you understand and access European statistics in an easy way, without the need to be an expert. It will be a lively session. We will show you how you can use these tools in practice and how they can be relevant for your work or studies. So whether you are a teacher, an educator, or student, if you are preparing a report or doing fact-checking, this is the right place to be. Your starting point is Eurostat's Education Corner. The Education Corner is the place on Eurostat's website where you will find all the resources and tools to discover statistics in an easy way. You can find the Education Corner under the Data menu on the top of Eurostat's homepage. On the left side, you have the list of different resources and materials. On the same page, you can keep an eye on the news and in focus sections to keep up to date on interesting and relevant products. If you want to get these straightforward into your inbox, you can also read our statistical literacy newsletter and sign it up to it. My colleague Kathleen will tell you more about this later. During this presentation, Anna and I will present three key resources: statistics for beginners, interactive publications, and data visualizations. Let's start with statistics for beginners. You can think of statistics for beginners as your guide to understand the basic statistical concepts and definitions which you need to know in order to understand and analyze statistics correctly. You can choose a topic, for example, population, environment and energy, economy and finance, and you will find different articles explaining the most important statistical indicators and concepts related to that topic. Let's check, for example, the article on what is gross domestic product. GDP is a word we may encounter in the news, but very often we don't really know what it is. So the first part of this article explains in a very simple way what is GDP with the help of a video of several real-life examples where you can understand what GDP is, what it includes, and how it relates to your life. You can get a snapshot of the data for the EU and European countries to have a better idea of what it is in practice. Later on, the article explains how these statistics can be relevant for you as a citizen and how they are used by governments, banks, businesses for decision making and policy making. From the basic concepts, you can then move to more complex indicators and specific features. For example, in this case, how is GDP calculated? At the end of the article, you can test your knowledge and play Eurostat quiz to see how much do you know. And from here, you can also move to other articles or thematic sections related to GDP or to other interactive tools where you can visualize and play with GDP statistics. You might have noticed that some of the terms in the article are linked to a glossary. So whenever you see a technical term you are not familiar with, you can check it by hovering with your mouse. And if you click here, you will land to the related page in Eurostat's glossary, which gives you the exact definition and links to further related concepts. So the glossary can help you understand the trickiest concepts and avoid any confusion. You can find the glossary also on the top of the page. Here you will have the full list of terms available. They are organized by topics. Let's search for a definition. Let's imagine you are preparing a report on the labor market situation and you want to see exactly what are unemployed people, how they are defined. We can go to labor market glossary. You will see that all the terms are ordered in alphabetical way. You click on unemployed. And here you will find the definition of unemployment, so you can see what is the concept behind the data. So to summarize, if you are a non-specialist with statistics for beginners, you can get easily familiar with the concepts and the definitions which are relevant for you to understand the statistics correctly. Now let's go back to our education corner and let's move on to the other product I would like to show you. These are interactive publications. As the name suggests, interactive publications are publications that present statistical data in an interactive way, which means you can play and engage with the data. We have a collection of 6 interactive publications at the moment on different topics, for example, digitalization, energy, migration, and we have one on regional data, where you can compare your region to other regions in your country or of other European countries. As example, I would like to show you Demography of Europe. This publication presents demographic changes and trends across the European countries. As you can see, it starts with a short introduction where again you can test yourself for a start. You can then decide to scroll the publication from the top to the bottom, or you can have a look at the left side menu and dive into more specific indicators and pick those which you are interested in. Let's imagine I'm preparing a presentation on life expectancy in the EU. My attention might be caught by this title, Women Live Longer. I will check the related chapter in the publication. You can start by reading the summary of the main results and data. For example, you can learn more about how life expectancy has evolved over time, or what are the differences between women and men. Then you can move on to this interactive visualization where you can dig deeper into the data and select your country and compare it with other countries. With this visualization, for instance, I can see for each of the country how life expectancies has changed over time. At the same time, I can also see where my country, for example, in my case, Italy, stands compared to the other countries. If I'm interested in a specific year only, for example, in the latest situation, I can deselect 2 years, and here I will see the situation for 2023 with all the list of countries. With this visualization, you also have the possibility to analyze more in particular the situation of women and men. So if your research focuses on men only, you might want to consult this part. And again, you can see the evolution over time and see where your country stands in comparison to the others. From this visualization, you can decide to go on and read the rest of the publication, or you might want to explore a similar topic. As we discuss life expectancy, we might want to check, for instance, what are the different age groups in population. In this chapter, again, you can read a bit more about the share of people aged 80 or more, or the people aged 15 or less. And then you can move again to the visualization. By default, we can see the share of the population aged less than 15 years in the European Union, but you can customize your choice based on what you are interested in. Here in the country menu, we can select another country, for example, France, and we can pick a different age group, for example, people aged 80 or over. And here you can see how the situation has changed in France and in the EU. This visualization can be shared. So by clicking here, you can share it on the social media, by email, for example, if you want to inform a colleague about it, or you can embed it on your website. Below each visualization, you will find access to dataset. This is the link to Eurostat's database from which the data are automatically taken. This is helpful if you want to further explore the data, but also to always accompany the data shown in the visualization with their source. You will notice in the publications there are, for more information, boxes. This is the place to go where you are looking for further resources on the same topics. And with this, I am at the end of my presentation, and I will give the floor to Anna.
Thank you, Romina. In the last years, Eurostat has developed a broad range of data visualizations. In the education corner, you can find these data visualizations on the left side menu. You click there and you will access a page which is really like a goldmine of data visualizations. Those can be multi-theme and can be focused on specific topics, like for instance, environment, economy, energy, etc. I will start by showing you a visualization that is for every citizen, because it's a visualization that will give you the possibility to knowing better your region. I will click here and the visualization will load. This visualization is very interesting because it will allow you to compare your region with other regions in your country and also your region with other European regions. By default, you will have Brussels, but let's customize it and select your own region. You can do it through the drop-down, or you can select it directly in the map. I will select my own region in Spain in the map, which is called Castilla y León, and I will immediately compare my region with other regions in Spain and see where it ranks. The indicator selected is the population. I can select also other indicators. These are the latest data available on population. So my region is ranking 6 out of 19 regions in Spain, is the yellow color circle. And then you can compare with the region with the highest population number and the lowest population number. But you can also compare with all available regions across the European Union and EFTA countries. So my region is positioned 52 out of 259 regions. I can see that the leading region is Île-de-France in France, which has the highest population, and the region with lowest population is the region of Åland in Finland. Let's say that I would like to have to compile more indicators for my region, and I would like to present them for a document, a work paper, a student work, etc. I can do so by creating my own fact sheet. I can select maximum 3 regions. In this case, I still have Brussels. I can select another region in Germany. And of course, my favorite region, which is my own region. So to make my region favorite, I just click on the start. And then I will see for the predefined indicators that my region is highlighted in yellow. Of course, I can further customize and select other indicators just individually or just by group. I can even select the indicators which are only related to the Sustainable Development Goals. And you will see that my fact sheet is created. There is a blue icon that will lead me to the source dataset in case if I would wish to explore further the data. And I can directly download my fact sheet, which will be available in PDF format with this result. And now I will show you a very interesting tool, which is called SDGs and Me. This tool will allow you to explore the different Sustainable Development Goals and find out the situation of your country comparing with other European countries. First of all, you need to select a country. In this case, I will select the European Union. And you can mouse over on the numbers just to explore the different Sustainable Development Goals. In this case, I am really interested in quality education, so I will click there and I will directly arrive into an indicator which is showing early leavers from education and training. And now I will find a really interesting feature. It's called Take a Guess. In this world of disinformation and fake news, this is a playful and interesting feature because you will be able to compare your assumptions with real facts. For example, I will mouse on the red circle, I will hold and drag, and then I will check how did I do. You can see that the trend, the actual trend, is lower than the trend that I guessed. So I invite you to explore this feature because it's in many indicators within the tool. The tool offers the possibility also to show trends, not only for your selected country, but also for other countries. And you can even compare with others. See where your country stands, the country with the highest rate and the lowest rate. The tool is giving you the possibility to download the charts in PNG format with clicking on this basket icon. Also, you can embed it and share in social media. For each indicator, you will have a short description. You can also access a more detailed description with links to very important resources. And even you have navigation on the top where you can change the Sustainable Development Goal and even change your favorite country. Recently, Eurostat has developed multiple dashboards, which is the perfect tool to monitor trends and also compare data for countries. Here you have an overview of the 26 key statistical indicators for the European Green Deal. Those indicators are also grouped by different topics in the top menu. By default, you have the data for the European Union, but of course you can customize your dashboard by selecting other countries and even making other country your favorite. So the data for this country will be reflected in the cards in the overview. Let's say that I would like to explore one specific indicator, which is renewable energy. I click there And I will see the expanded line chart with the trend of this particular indicator. I can customize the time by using the time slider and expand the period. So now I have a more complete insight of the trade. And now I can even customize it further, selecting another sector, like for instance, transport. It is also possible to compare with other countries. In this case, I will click, and the countries that I have selected are highlighted, and I can see how they are positioned compared to other European countries and EFTA countries. I can see the highest and the lowest rate. Of course, as in other visualizations, I have information on the indicator. I can share my customized view, and I can also download the visualization in PNG format. This is just an appetizer, but I encourage you to visit the Eurostat website, where you will find many other data visualizations. To conclude, we invite you to explore the Education Corner, because the multiple resources we have shown turn complex numbers into interactive and simple stories, helping everyone quickly spot trends and understand statistics with ease.
Thank you for showing us all of those resources, Romina and Anna. And now it's time for our social media expert, Kathleen Ryan, who'll tell you about navigating European statistics through Eurostat's social media channels.
Thank you, Dean. Hi, everyone. Good morning. My name is Kathleen Ryan, and I'm a member of Eurostat's social media team. So today I will be taking you through Eurostat social media so you can better understand our presence on the platform and make the most of our content. So our aim on social media is to integrate statistics into your daily life. We assume that the majority of people are active on social media. So by following our content there, you can stay up to date with the latest news on Europe through the world of statistics. Our social media posts break down the big world of statistics into smaller, digestible pieces so that they can be understood more easily, and you can just see the most important points. So Eurostat is currently active on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. And now I'll take you through each of these platforms and the type of content that we post there. So here we have one of our maps. This type of content is quite popular among our users. This is because users can very easily visualize the data and see where their country stands, as well in comparison to other countries. So as with every one of our visuals, we have a title and a subtitle. So the title here, Employed People Working Long Hours in 2024, presents the indicator and also the reference period. The subtitle shows the unit. So here we have the percentage of all employed people and as well the age. So age 2064. In this map, we also have an EU stamp, which includes the EU aggregate. So the EU aggregate here is 6.6%. So the EU figure only includes EU member states. Other countries, although they're included in the map, are not included in the EU aggregate. So then you may ask, why do we include other countries in our map, such as EFTA countries, as you can see here? This is because of statistical cooperation that takes place with these non-EU countries, which are either members of the European statistical system or are associated with EU enlargement or European neighbourhood policies. As well, here in our map, we have a footnote which explains a little bit more about the indicator. So here we have long working hours equals 49 hours or more per week. And then to accompany our visual, we have the caption. The caption of the post or text of the post is always going to focus on what's included in the visual. So here it's going to explain things in a little bit more detail. And also we include a country ranking showing the highest and lowest countries of that particular indicator. And as well, on all of our posts, we include this link in bio over here and a link to learn more. So of course, because of the nature of Instagram, we can't have live hyperlinked text, so we can't have links. So over here, we invite you to click the link in bio. So to do that, you'll be probably on mobile because, of course, Instagram is a mobile platform, but you can find the link in bio in the same place. Click that, and then you get to this page here. You find the visual which corresponds to the post, and then tap on that to find the resource on Eurostat's website. Next up, we have our bar charts as well, title introducing the indicator, also a reference period, and the subtitle. So over here, as you can see, we also have a footnote. So this footnote will account for any missing countries and as well provide more information on the data. Sometimes there could be a certain flag, such as some data may be estimated or provisional, and you will find that information over here in our footnote. As well, like the previous example from Instagram, we can see that we have the post text, which explains what we see in the visual. We also have a ranking of the highest and lowest countries, and then a link here where you can learn more. So if you click that link, you reach the Eurostat website and the link to the release. Next up, we have a different type of content. Here we have a quiz. So this invites users to test their knowledge where it's a bit more interactive, right? They can test their knowledge and then see how they compare as well to other users' replies. So let's see together. So which EU country generated the lowest amount of municipal waste per inhabitant in 2023? So the majority of users guessed Estonia. So 68% of users thought Estonia generated the lowest amount of municipal waste per inhabitant during this year. But actually they were incorrect because the correct answer is Romania with 303 kilograms per inhabitant. We also have our infographics, which present data in a bit more of a visual, light-hearted way. Our reels too. And here we have our statistical literacy newsletter. So you can find this on LinkedIn. So you go to the LinkedIn newsletter tab from our page, and you will reach this specific section. And you can tap here or click here to join, subscribe, and you will find previous editions further down as well here. So Eurostat has its own podcast series called Stats in a Wrap. And apart from being available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the Eurostat website, we also have all the podcasts in its own dedicated playlist on our YouTube channel. And as well, we have our webinars like this one available in a playlist on our YouTube channel. So apart from being available on Eurostat's website, you can also find them here. So if you've ever seen one of Eurostat's posts on social media, or if you're a follower of one of our pages, then you know that our community is super active. They love to comment below our posts and say what they think. They love to engage in interesting discussions and sometimes debates. So we invite you to also join in the conversation. And feel free to ask Eurostat any questions that you may have about the data, about the methodology, and we'll get back to you. So Eurostat is currently active on Facebook, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Thank you everyone for your attention, and back to you, Dean.
Thank you, Kathleen, for that exploration of Eurostat's social media channels. Now, the two presentations have given us many insights into navigating European statistics, and now it's time to hear from you and answer any questions that you have. Remember then, you can send us questions via slido.com. The code is #2812300. If we don't manage to answer all of your questions now, we'll follow up and send you answers later. Romina, Anna, and Kathleen are now back to answer your questions live. So remember, slido.com, #2812300. Now let's go to the first question. How can you use the data from the database once you're there? That's a question for you, Romina.
Thank you, Dean. And thanks for the question. So as I have explained, all our publications and data visualization tools are accompanied by a link to the database where you can find the full parameters and data related to one topic. So once you are there, you can first of all customize your selection. For example, if you're checking data on population, you might select many more years than the years we have selected in a publication. You may select different age groups or maybe look at the data more for women and for men. Once you have customized your selection and decided what you are interested in, you can visualize those data in a different way. By default, they are in a form of a table, but you can also select a line chart, a bar chart, or a map, depending on the data. Once you are happy with what you have, you can download the data, indeed, in Excel and in other formats, like, for example, CSV. You can also bookmark the data set if you want to use it on a regular basis. And you can also use our web services to create an automatic access to Eurostat's data sets. Thank you, Dean. I'll give you the floor back to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Romina. Now, the next question is for Anna. Our viewer asks, how can I be sure that I'm accessing the most current information?
Thank you, Dean. So first of all, I would like to let you know that the database of Eurostat is updated every day at 11 and 23 hours. So most of our interactive data visualization tools are fed live from our database using API web services. And in all of them, you can access the data set. And as Romina explained, you can go to the data set and download the data and check where are the latest data available. Also, the publications present data for a specific year, but users can still, access the data set, of course, and check if more recent data are available. I advise you to check always the release calendar of Eurostat, where you can, if you want to be up to date. And also the users can subscribe to our alert service. These links will be added to Slido by my colleagues, so you will have access to them.
Thank you, Anna. Now, another user asks, how can I understand the statistics you post on social media better? A question for you, Kathleen.
Yes, sure. So if you're scrolling through social media and you come across one of Eurostat's posts, I assume it's the visual that caught your eye. So if you're looking at the visual and you're not quite sure what you're seeing, the next step is to go to the text of the post, the caption of the post, which will explain what's in the visual in more detail. Once you've read through this and you can refer back to the visual, if you still don't understand what you're seeing, the link in the post to learn more at the bottom will take you to Eurostat's website, which will have a lot more information there. And of course, if you have any questions at this point, feel free to ask us. You can comment below our posts or send us a message, or as well contact our user support services, which are available on our website.
Thank you, Kathleen. Now, a question for you, Romina. Is there only material available in English?
Yes, thanks for the question. It's a very relevant one. We are aware of the need of many people, of course, to access materials in their own language. Most of the resources that you find on our website are produced in English. However, you can read all the content, all of our publications in your own language. We have an automatic translation tool on our website, which you can use. We try to develop multilingual tools, especially those that are really addressed to a broad public or for the little ones. For example, we have a quiz where you can choose your language and play with it and learn more about statistics. We also have some videos, like one to explain inflation to the children with voiceover and subtitles in all the other languages. An important point is Eurostat cooperate with the member states, with all the national statistical offices across Europe. And as part of this cooperation, we shared each other materials. So on Eurostat's Education Corner, you will find a specific section which is called Materials by Language. My colleagues will put the link in Slido. And there you will find the list of more specific resources developed by your National Statistical Office for your country and in your language. Also, if you have any questions on the data or any of our materials and resources, we have a multilingual user support. So we can answer any questions on European statistics in your language. You will also find the link in Slido. Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, Romina. Now, Anna, a question for you on APIs. A viewer asks, can I get APIs for any Eurostat page, like for the agri-food portal? If yes, where and how do they work?
Yes, of course, Eurostat offers the possibility to create automatic access to Eurostat data sets using API web services. Concretely, we have SDMX 2.1 web services and also the Eurostat statistics web services. To create APIs, for instance, of the data used in one of our visualizations, you should go to the source data set, and from the data set, you can access these APIs. You can create these APIs. It is also possible to create web service queries using the Eurostat query builder that is available in our website. And of course, we have on the website complete documentation that will be shared with you, all these links via Slido. And of course, if you have further questions, please don't hesitate to contact our support.
Thank you, Anna. Now, Kathleen, a question regarding fact-checking, a very important issue these days. So a viewer asks, an account I follow posted some data on social media that doesn't look correct. How can I check if it is correct?
Yes, so of course, if you've seen some figures on social media and you're not quite sure if you should trust them or not, I suggest that you search on Eurostat's website for the corresponding data, and you can, of course, compare and see if they're correct. And if the user cites Eurostat as a source, and for some reason you don't seem to find the data set in our database, you can always contact us. Either you can tag us in the post, or as well contact us by sending us a direct message, or as well on user support, like we previously mentioned.
Thank you, Kathleen. Now, Romina, a question about data on higher education systems. What is the best data pool for analyzing higher education systems and their socio-economic impact?
Yes, thank you, Dean. So as explained, many of our resources and tools are organized by topics. So once you are in a specific publication or interactive visualization, you can already check the part on education. However, if you want to have an overview of a specific topic, like in this case, higher education, there are several ways you can get to that. There is a team sections on our website, which means we have a presentation of the different topics. And in these parts of the website, you will find all the types of statistics that are collected for that topic, like for education, and the links to the related data sets in the database. So also the database is organized by topics. We also have specific publications. For example, in the case of education, we have an online publication on facts and figures on the education and training in the EU. I think we can also post into Slido some more specific information regarding higher education systems and data sets related to that. So we'll get back to you now or later on this. Thank you.
Thank you, Romina. And to Anna, our expert for web content assistance, a question on how the visualization tools are produced. How are they produced?
Thank you, Dean. This is a very interesting question, or at least, our users have sometimes the curiosity of knowing how our visualization tools are produced. So basically, they are developed in-house by a team which is composed by a group of developers, graphic designers, accessibility experts, project managers and coordinators, which are, of course, in direct contact with the experts in the field. So this is basically the main lines of how our visualizations are produced.
Thank you, Anna. Now, Kathleen, another social media question. There are many social media platforms beyond the ones that you listed. So does Eurostat plan on using other social media platforms in the future?
Yes, of course. So apart from the 5 that we're currently active on, we're always on the lookout to see how the social media landscape is changing and developing. So yes, we are in discussion to see how we can further expand our social media reach. I mean, need for a reliable source of information on social media is always there, whatever the platform. So we're just seeing how best we can support our users. And of course, we'll announce any new platforms on our current social media pages, so stay tuned.
Thank you, Kathleen. Now, Romina, a question on where Eurostat gets the country's data from. Can you please explain this?
Thank you, Dean. This is also a very interesting question, and nice to see indeed that you are all interested in that. So, as I mentioned, Eurostat works together with the national statistical offices. They form together a network, a partnership, which is called ESS, European Statistical System. Eurostat, together with the member states, is responsible for developing harmonized methodologies for collecting statistics to make sure that they are comparable across the countries. It is the role of the national statistical offices to do the data collection in their own country. So they collect the data, they send the data to Eurostat. At Eurostat, we calculate the aggregate, meaning the values for the European Union, for example, or for economic indicators also for the euro area. And then we publish all the data. So it's the result of a system of harmonized methodologies where the tasks and the responsibilities are shared.
Thank you, Romina. And to our last question for today's webinar, how can you ensure that these resources are used effectively by users and do take into consideration users' feedback? That's one for you, Anna.
Thank you, Dean. This is a very, very important question. First, I would like to stress that Eurostat applies a user-centric design approach when creating interfaces, data visualization tools, pages for our website, etc. That means that we put the users at the center and take their needs and tasks into consideration, and of course, apply the best practices in UA design. It's very important to find out about our users' needs and know what they want to achieve when using our tools. So basically, we engage in usability tests and user feedback session when developing new or we improve existing products. We also run regular user feedback surveys for the website and specific products. For example, the dashboards, interactive publications, statistics explain articles, etc. We collect the feedback from users through different means. For instance, we have a form on the website. On the data visualization tools, also in its visualization, users can provide directly the feedback. And of course, via our user support. And finally, Eurostat is running a user satisfaction survey, which is conducted every 2-3 years. So I invite all the users to provide the feedback because this is really very important for us for continue improving our tools and our content and really meeting the target that the users have.
Thank you, Anna. And with that, we wrap up our webinar on navigating European statistics with Eurostat. Thank you to you, our viewers, for joining us and sending questions, and to our speakers, Romina, Anna, and Kathleen. Please participate in our feedback survey via Slido. There you can also find the address to contact our multilingual user support if you have further questions. Goodbye for now from Eurostat in Luxembourg.